The Dish. I'm joined by pharmacist and holistic health coach Zoom Heaton. She's from TLC Medical Center, and I am so glad that you're joining me. You know, you understand the importance of caring for yourself, and I really wanted to make some of the show about that and how important it is to make that a priority for yourself. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, so I wanted to get into your background a little bit so people get to know you. You do have a pharmacy here, TLC Medical Center.
Yes, we do.
But you started off as pediatric.
Yes.
Tell me why you decided to expand.
Well, you know, it was 2003, and we had taken our little boy, who was 2 years old at that time, to see his pediatrician. And they were building a building right next door, and they said, you know, there's going to be a little spot for a pharmacy. We'd love for you to be our pharmacist, caring for our pediatric patients. And so we decided, you know what, that's not a bad idea. You know, what a neat way to be able to do that. But then, as we were going along, a lot of the parents and grandparents decided, hey, wow, I mean, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And we really
I need
enjoy
this care too.
Well, exactly. And we really, you know, we enjoy, you know, your recommendations, your suggestions, you know, when they ask me questions, you know, I'm there. And they really liked the solutions. And
They
said,
took
you
to
know,
very well.
yes. And so they said, you know, what about us? Can we get our prescriptions? And that's when we decided, you know
light
what?
bulb went off,
Exactly.
right? Let's expand.
Absolutely. Let's do everyone.
Well, and like I said, I mean, you understand the importance of caring for yourself. Why should we make that a priority in our lives?
Oh my goodness. You know what? If we don't take care of ourselves, nobody else will. And with the healthcare, the state that it's in today, it's so complicated. And we have got to find the resources to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely. And like you said, if we don't take care of ourselves, nobody else is going to. But plus, when we take care of ourselves, for example, I'm pregnant right now, you know, and I know how important it is for me to take care of myself in order for me to take care of my baby the best way I can.
Yes.
But it's something interesting. You're a pharmacist and holistic health coach. And so some people might be like, well, aren't those kind of the opposite? Holistic is more of that natural, but you have a pretty cool balance that you find with using both of those backgrounds. Tell me about that.
Well, you know, I was trained to be a pharmacist, and so knowing drugs is kind of my life. But after a while, I realized that there were people who needed help beyond drugs. And I thought, you know what? There are ways. There are ways that we can help them without medication or in addition to medication. You know, it just all depends on the person.
Yep.
And so we decided individualized medicine is the way to go.
Yes.
So you got to take care of the individual because their needs are different.
And it's so true. And I mean, because one medication might be curing one thing or helping with one symptom, but causing another one that, you know, because maybe that person didn't share some information, it may be affecting them in a negative way in the long run by taking that medication instead of maybe doing it a more natural way or combining the two. So,
absolutely.
You say individual care, and you offer something at your pharmacy called compounding. And if people don't know what this is, I want you to give an explanation or some background on what that is.
Well, you know, compounding is an art of mixing medications and customizing medications for people. You know, there are thousands of pharmaceuticals out there, right, with very specific standardized dosing. Well, you know, you've got dosing between 50 and 100, for instance. Okay, well, what if you're in between? What do we do about that? I mean, nobody fits, you know, into one box.
Category, yep.
Exactly. So, thus, NoOneShoeRx.com.
Yeah, and I was going to say that you have a motto, no one shoe.
That's right.
Which means individual care for people.
Absolutely. No one shoe fits every foot, right? So you can't make, you know, medicine to fit everybody, right? One medicine can't fit everyone. So you've got to customize it and make sure that it fits that person. Your chemical makeup is different than my chemical makeup. And so your needs are going to be different than mine.
Absolutely.
And so compounding is the way to go.
Well, that's so neat for people that you're offering this, because like you said, every individual is different, and customizing, giving them that ability to be able to customize their medication and make it special to the makeup of their body.
Absolutely.
Can really help them in the long run.
Absolutely. I mean, and also, you know, if somebody who can't swallow pills, you know, we can make it into a liquid. We can even do, let's say you're nauseous, if you know, if you have morning sickness, we can put an anti-nausea drug into a little syringe, and you can, all you've got to do is put a little cream on your wrist and
rub it on you.
And rub it on you.
Well, that's so amazing. Well, thank you, Zoom. And you're not going to go anywhere, because we have more to talk about. In a little bit, I want to touch on some of the testing that you offer that can tell people a lot about what their body needs. So I think this is really interesting. Plus, be sure you visit thedishon6.com to find out how you or someone you love can win a mommy makeover. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Dish. If you're just tuning in, I'm joined by Zoom Heaton. She's a pharmacist and holistic health coach from TLC Medical Center. Thank you, Zoom, for being here.
Thank you, Anna.
And now we've been touching on people making it a priority to care for themselves and how important that is to do that. But we touched on individual care and specializing in how your pharmacy customizes certain medication for individuals to meet their needs. And you have this motto called "No One Shoe." Help explain that.
Well, no one shoe fits every foot, right? So there's no one therapy that fits everyone.
Yep.
So we have to be able to individualize their therapy so that it can fit them physiologically.
Yes.
So it works for them.
Yep.
You know, if you've got, you know, doses that range between 50 and 100 and there's only 2 out there pharmaceutically, you know, what about that person
you may
who
be
needs
in between?
Exactly. Then what do you do, right? I mean, you can't always split the pill in half, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you know, we put it in specialized dosing, specialized bases, and you know, in dosage vehicles, and so it's easy to put on, and we can specify what dosing it is, working with your doctor.
That's amazing. And now something else that I teased right before we went to break was that you offer some testing at your pharmacy where people can really see and get a baseline for what they're lacking, what they're needing, what they have maybe too much of.
Absolutely.
Explain what that is and what you offer.
Well, you know what? There's so many people who come to me, especially women who have symptoms of perimenopause or menopause, and you know, and they're like, I've never been tested, and I was put on a pill. So I'm like, really? So how do we know how much?
Right,
exactly. How do we know? So you know, we offer saliva testing. There's blood testing as well, and urine testing. You know, it all depends on what the physician wants. And what we do is we run that test, and we get a baseline, and that's how you know. That's when you can say, hey, you know, you're low here, you know, but you're balanced there. So let's just get the low spots up, because now the low spots are basically where your symptoms are.
And that's really, like you said, I mean, diving in and being able to provide that individual care for that person.
Absolutely.
And I think it's important for people to know and understand that you need to take charge of caring for yourself. And taking a test like that you offer at your pharmacy is so important, so you do get that baseline. You do have an understanding for what your body is telling you.
Yes.
And we had a chance to talk over the phone over the weekend, and I loved our conversation, because one of the things that we agreed on was, you know your body better than anybody else.
Yes.
And so listening to your body is extremely important in order to get the care that you need.
Absolutely, because there's so many different issues. You know, it's not just always hormones, but it's nutrition.
Yep.
And what about drugs? If you're on a lot of drugs, you don't realize that they're depleting your nutrients as well.
And maybe your nutrition is affecting your hormones, or vice versa.
Absolutely.
So it could be a whole mix,
a whole host of problems, exactly.
Of things. And so it's so important and vital that people really know that care is out there, and understand that you have their back, right?
Absolutely.
And so again, you know, I want people to realize how important that is to make it a priority. And so something that's interesting that you do, again, that we talked about, some people may hear, pharmacist and holistic health coach. And
it's a beautiful balance.
It is.
It's a beautiful balance.
You're able to offer them a lot more than just drugs.
Absolutely. You know, drugs is one part of the puzzle, you know, but we've got other areas, you know, that we can work with, bringing up your nutritional deficiencies, making sure, you know, that there's, you know, meditation, stress relievers, you know, getting you to a point where, you know, you're much more balanced.
Yes. Well, Zoom, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you taking the time to come here and really explain how you are making it a priority to care for people and individualize their care. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Anna.
All right, do not go anywhere. We talked about caring for yourself. Now we're going to talk about caring for your home in just a little bit.